Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by because today is the last video of a trifecta series that I filmed on my channel. The first one being the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. The second being Volume 2. And the third and final today being Volume 3. As you can see, the packaging is quite the same, but quite different, with all the little beautiful butterflies flying around. And I'm so excited to dive into this palette. I've heard many good things, just like I did about the first and second palette. So if you want to hear about those good things too, and if you want to see how this palette performs, what it looks like on my eyes, and see live swatches of the palette itself, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. So just like the other two Pro Pigment palettes, this is also $60. It's a shame they didn't offer. It's a shame they don't offer like a bundle price, like buy all three for a little bit cheaper than $180. Either way, this is a limited edition palette and shows that it is also exclusive to Sephora and of course the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. The first one was the only one that wasn't. I'm assuming that the original plan was to separate the launches and have the second and third be Sephora launched only, rather than having them one after the other, based on what I've heard anyway. I think that's the only reason that they did launch so closely together. I don't think they were supposed to, I think it just happened. But regardless, they did, and here we are. Now of course I did order mine from Sephora's website, so I am gonna go ahead and read the details from the website, then we're gonna jump right into swatches. So the details for the palette is what it is: a professional grade artistry palette featuring 25 deluxe size high performance shades with maximum payoff and a stunning autumn themed color story. I'm so excited. Ingredient callouts are free of parabens and phthalates. This product is also vegan, cruelty-free, and gluten-free. What else you need to know? This palette contains 25 professional pigments in oversized pans to offer limitless possibilities. It includes a wide range of bold, vibrant, autumn-inspired colors with high pigment. It's perfect for the artist who wants the ultimate color collection and for the makeup fanatic who is ready to take their makeup creativity to the next level. It also shows that the shades A2, 3, 5, B3, B4, B5, C2, 3, 4, D1, 2, 4, 5, and E1, 2, 3, and 5 are not intended for use around the immediate eye area. If you kept up with that, that means that all of those are pressed pigments. That's like half the palette kind of. And it just signifies that they are not to be used around the eye because they can induce staining and there are potential allergies to some pressed pigments. But it's good to know because that means that what you're about to put on your eye did not come from a beetle. Good news. Now the first two, in my opinion, felt very springy when I swatched them, like very bright, summery spring type shades. I'm very excited that this one is autumn themed because we are coming into fall and I'm a fan of fall personally, and I'm really excited about this color story if it's what I think it is. But as you know from the previous two videos that I filmed on these other two palettes, the result of the swatches are different from the color story that I see from palettes when I order them online. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. If you do, let me know in the comments because I feel like I'm the only one sometimes. Like I see a palette online, I look at the colors and I feel like I know what the palette is, then I get it and I swatch it and it's surprisingly even better. So let's stop wondering and go ahead and jump into these swatches. Let me open the palette first and show you what it looks like. Again, we have the little shield thing, just like the other two, and it's the same as the other two with the ingredients on the back and all of the shade callouts. And then the palette looks just like the unit carton, except it has a black back. It looks very Halloween themed, very October themed, autumn. And let's open it. The other two had a sleeve. Does this one have a sleeve? Why do I feel no sleeve? There's the sleeve. Oh, there goes the sleeve. Okay. And wow, these are very fall autumn themed. They're much deeper, much richer than the other two, I feel like. They're all kind of toned down a little bit. Granted, they still are bright. Not all of them, but some of them are still bright, but they're toned down bright. Ooh, I'm excited for this one. I don't know which one I haven't been excited about. I think I'm the most excited about this one. Our very first shade is the shade A1. Then a 2, a 3, a 4, I thought I was still recording when I swatched A5. I wasn't. Sorry about that. That is A5. Missed that one. That was 3 swipes, I think. Next is B1. You know, one thing that is so perfect with this collection is shimmers across the board have been amazing in all 3 of these. The quality is impeccable. B2. B3, B4, very, very soft shade. And then B5. Next is the shade C1. Wow, that's really, really nice. C2. C3. C4. And C5. Next is the shade D1. D2. D3. D4. And D5. And now for the last row, we have the shade E1. E2. E3. E4. And E5. And there she is. That is the entire Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 3. And as always, I will insert photos of the swatches, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And of course, I've got to show you a close-up of the swatches afterward. This palette is definitely more autumn themed. Okay, so as you can see, those swatches were beautiful. It is definitely an autumn themed palette, that's no doubt. Everything is just kind of a deeper tone overall, really. I mean, the second one kind of had that more teal vibe going on, but it was still bright and springy looking. I don't know why I keep saying springy. That's just the appropriate word, I think. But then the volume 1 had the whole purple vibe going on, but it was still bright and springy. If I had to pick seasons for each, it would be volume 1, summer, volume 2, spring, volume 3, fall, autumn, whatever. But now I need to get into an eye look and get some of these colors on my eyes because I need to figure out what this palette's all about. If the quality is anything like 1 and 2, then we already know what I think on quality, but color story is another story. Go me, pun intended. I don't really think that would be considered a pun per se. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my ABH eye primer. It's crazy how much this is like the P. Louise base, but not at the same time. Like it is, but it isn't. I would say it's a dupe, but now you can get the P. Louise base from Morphe, so it's actually cheaper than the Anastasia eye primer. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, we're also gonna be testing out the Huda Beauty Lifeliner today. This is the duo eyeliner pencil and liquid eyeliner on the other side. It's just like the Tarteist double take eyeliner. I'm gonna be using the Huda one on my right eye and the Tarte one on my left eye so I can see the difference between the two. Just thought that would be a fun little experiment. My right eye is now completely primed, and you may be noticing that something might be different. Not sure what that might be exactly, but something might be different. No, just kidding. If you didn't notice, today is actually a different day. I got tired after I did the swatches because it was already kind of late, so I figured I would go to bed that night. And I went to school, got my nails done while I was at school, and now it's the next day. So let's continue moving forward. I just couldn't not say anything about my nails being different now. So I figured I'd let you know why they were different now. Anyways, based on the look that I did with the volume 1 palette being white and blue, so pretty bright, and then the volume 2 palette look being like a yellowy green type vibe, I want to try and stay somewhat neutral for this look because I haven't done one of those types of looks with these palettes yet, and I think this is going to be the palette that I'm going to be able to achieve that with when I couldn't with the other two. I just know I have those friends that really don't want to venture out into color, and I always want to be on the lookout for them and see if I can find something that works for them as well, even though I do like color, and I think that this palette might be an option for those friends. We're just gonna find out for sure. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we have no creasing at all. No one likes a creasy eyelid. I'm first going to take my Morphe R37 Big Fluffy Blending Brush. I feel like I always start with this brush. It's because it's a good fluffy blending brush. And I'm gonna go into the shade B5. And I'm gonna just start working this in my outer crease and start building up that pigment there. That's a really pretty color. It's a very soft brown. Even just this shade could be a one and done. Well, maybe like two and done. You might want to get like a little bit of shimmer on the lid and then you'd be okay. Or this shade on the lid if you just want that whole matte neutral look. I like this color though. It's really nice. I feel like that color has built up very nicely. It looks really pretty, honestly. It looks very simple also, but it's clean, you know? It's smooth. Now, I was going to go into like a bright yellow or like a bright orange or like a bright green and blend out the edges of this shade with it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep this subtle. I always say I'm going to do a neutral wearable look, and I don't. I always pull out the color and I make it like very robust. But today, I'm not gonna do it. So for my next shade, I'm gonna go into the shade E2 and I'm gonna use my Morphe M433 brush, and I'm gonna build this shade up in my crease as well, but I'm going to use it to deepen the crease up. So I'm gonna kind of keep it confined just a little bit more and try to not blow it out quite as much. Wow, this shade is really pretty. It was kind of perfect to deepen up that B5 shade. It's blending in very nicely with it. And I think I am gonna try and drag it out just a little bit at the corner, just to sort of elongate the look itself. Not to make it any more bold or dramatic, just to give it a little more depth. This is so pretty. I'm living for this. It's got like that deep fall cranberry vibe. Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm so excited for this palette. I was actually gonna take this palette to school with me today and play around with it while I was at school, but I decided not to so that I could keep my first impression a first impression. I am now done blending. This may look slightly more dramatic than it did a second ago. That's because it is. I went a little ham with the shade E2, but that cranberry vibe that I had going on, I was really enjoying it, so I kind of just kept adding it. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more of the shade B5 back in here just to maybe kind of bring out a little more of that warm brown. But obviously I am feeling this whole autumn cranberry fantasy, and I guess that's what I'm going for today, is this whole autumn cranberry fantasy. Now I did take that shade E2 down on my lid a little bit. I did it on the outer corner and the inner corner, so that way I could kind of build up for a halo eye, because I'm feeling the halo eye moment. Hello?
Please stop what you're doing and listen to this very important.
At this point, I'm going to take my Morphe M204 flat packing brush and I'm going to go into the shade D5. And this is just a dry brush, no setting spray or anything on it to help it. Ugh. This is what I love about these palettes. That is just gorgeous. So beautiful, so pigmented, so foiled looking. Ugh. And I'm just gonna kind of put this all in the middle of my lid because, like I said, I want this to be kind of like a halo eye slash spotlight eye. More so spotlight than halo. So I want that super saturated right in the center as much as possible, and then slowly blend it outward into that cranberry shade. Just look at how beautiful that is. It is so foiled. It almost looks like I put a liquid eyeshadow on my lid. And now I'm gonna take my Morphe M416 brush. This is also a little flat packer brush, more like a brow bone highlight brush, but very dense. And now I'm gonna go into the shade C1. This one's a very bright yellowy type white almost, maybe not quite white. Well, that shade's not applying quite like I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be more of a solid shimmer type shade, but it's definitely more of like a glittery type. But it looks like it is building up to be very shimmery. It's just not solid pigmentation is all. It's just definitely more of a topper type shade than it is its own pigmented type shade. Now I'm just going to blend the edges of that out with the R37 that had the shade B5 on it, just to make sure none of it looks like it's thrown on there. Now that that looks blended and it's a smooth gradient, I'm gonna go in with my pinky and I'm gonna go into the shade D2. Now this shade I'm gonna put right in the center of my lid and make it just kind of pop to bring everything forward. Kind of just a highlight right in that center, just to make the center of this spotlight eye look even more of a spotlight. You know, the more the center of the eye is intensified and the more the outsides of the eye are deepened, the more it's going to resemble that spotlight type effect. So that's why I'm adding that one right to the center, just to make it super intense. And now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this over on this eye and I will be right back. Now that both eyes look the same, relatively, it is now time to go in with some liner. Oh God, some liner. Oh God, some liner. Oh God. It is now time to go in with some liner. And as I previously stated, I'm gonna go in with the Huda Duo Eyeliner Pencil and Liquid on my right side, and I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Chartist Double Take Eyeliner on my left side. So we're gonna beef it out between these two and see which one maybe I like more. I actually haven't used the Tarte one either. I got it, I don't know, a couple of months ago, but I keep using my Anastasia liquid liner instead of my Tarte liquid liner. Just, that's the one I tried, that's the one I reviewed, that's the one that I really liked, so I just kept using it. Anyhow, we are going to open this up, and I'm gonna keep the packaging just in case I hate it so that I can return it, because my money tree this month didn't bloom. Now I'm gonna use the gel and liquid side on both pencils, or wait, I'm gonna use the pencil and liquid side of both eyeliners. So liquid liner on the Huda side says twist. So here we twist. Oh, wait, is that right? Does that go like that? Oh, no, wrong way. Oops. Okay, so it's a little canister thingy. Ooh, it came out very heavy on one side. Oh man, and now it gunked up on the side of it. I don't want a lot of product on the side of it. I want a lot of product on either the brush or inside of it. I'm so nervous already. Okay, let's do this. So far, it's very thick, like a gel.
The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea into the blue.
This applicator is very, very bendable. In a good way, not in a bad way.
Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like
Okay, that wing is done. I really, really like that, actually. It did kind of...
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Oh, why did I do that? I was trying to look at the time that my camera had left to record. I knew better than to open my eyes too much. This is a super thick formula, like very, very thick, so it's gonna stay wet for a minute. It's okay. I'll clean it up in a minute. But anyway, the formula is really, really thick. That took me a second to get used to. It's like eyeshadow base thick. It's like concealer thick. But I kind of like that because the coverage of it was really, really nice. It just glided right over any eyeshadow. It didn't get stuck. It didn't skip. It's not veining or like, what's the word? I forgot the word. It's not spreading through like the tiny little cracks in my eye, and it looks really good, but man, it's wet. I got it on my lashes and it was almost like I applied mascara to them. Man, that was working so well too. I'm so disappointed that I opened my eye too far. I'm gonna try and scrape that excess liner off, see if it actually will come off. Okay, liner is now redone. And I will not be opening my eye until this is dry. Now, I'm gonna go in with the Tartist Double Take liquid on the left side. I'm happy with both sides. The shape of this one, I think, is a little bit better than the shape of this one, but that has nothing to do with the liners. That just has to do with the fact that this side is easier for me to work with on my right hand than my left side is. Or wait, this side is harder. This side is easier. Now I will say the Tarte liner, the moment I went in with it on my inner corner, it started feathering immediately. Then I went back a second time with it and it kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but it's still a little bit feathered. It just lets me know that the formula for the Tarte liner is a little thinner, a little more liquidy. Now I realized a second ago that it has a little shaky thing in it, and I didn't shake it beforehand, I don't think. Or at least not recently. But I can tell you for sure, it is a thinner formula than the Huda. I also just tried to run the Tarte liner over itself after it dried, and it did let me build on top of it. So that's kind of nice. I like that in a formula because sometimes you need to go in and fix stuff, you know? I'm also gonna try to do that with the Huda liner, which I kind of already know because I had to fix it once already, but it was almost like a fresh application. So I'm just gonna go over this corner right here. Okay, gotta say, with the Huda liner, it definitely does build up on itself. However, it feels like you're applying fingernail polish, kind of, to your eye because it is so thick. It's that thick type formula. And for me personally, that's gonna take some getting used to because I don't normally use liners that feel like that, but I do like it. Like, it's not a bad thing. I feel like it stops it from feathering as much. Granted, the dry down time is a little longer because it's more like a gel substance than it is like a liquid ink. So be cautious of that. But if I had to pick between these two, based on formula and application already, I would pick the Huda when it comes to the liquid side. All right, for the moment, I'm feeling very satisfied with the liquid liner, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the pencil liner on the Huda side. I'm gonna put this in my waterline. Easy breezy.
like a wave returns
Okay, it is taking a second to build up to an opaque solid black. I need to bend down a little bit and try this again. I'm sorry, I still want you to see. It's just hard to, it's hard to maneuver this. For some reason, that took a minute to build up. It took a lot of layering to finally get it to where I wanted it to be. Wow, that made my eyes so much smaller. There's such a difference. And now, the Tarte Double Take. Okay, now again, the Tarte liner also took quite a while to build up to an intense black, but it does look just as intense now that I did build it up. I also think that has something to do with it being the first time I've used these liners. A lot of the time with pencil liners, I do notice the first time I use them, they're a little drier just because they haven't kind of been broken into the pencil yet. So I'm gonna cut them some slack on application or initial application.
But I won't next time.
Anyway, I also forgot to mention that the Tarte Double Take eyeliner is $24 retail value and the Huda Life Liner is $25. So they're $1 difference in price. So you would imagine them to be very comparable. In which case, on the pencil or gel or whatever it is side, they are, it just says pencil liner. Well yeah, on the pencil side they are very similar. On the liquid side, they are not. They're not similar. But I still stand with my original thoughts on these. I like them both though. They look really, really good, aside from me being messy. And by the time I finish this video, we'll truly get to see how they stand up in my waterline because my eyes are watery AF all the time. So we'll figure out. Usually most eyeliners I have wear down right here in the outer corners so fast, like almost immediately. Like I would bet you right now, they're probably, yeah, both sides are gone already. I just put them on. Both sides are gone. So I'll have to reapply that. That's essentially it for the eyeliner portion of this video. I'll give my final opinions at the very end, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup off camera so that we can get all that done. I'll come back and I'll finish up the eye makeup and give my final thoughts on the palette as well. So let me go ahead and do that and I will be right back. All of my face makeup is now completely applied, as you might be able to tell. It's kind of light today. I went kind of light, natural glam, rather than super harsh contour and super bright blush like I normally end up doing. Now, I need to get something on my lower lash line because it feels very naked. And when it comes to the lower lash line, I think we're really just gonna take it there with this whole brown cranberry thing. So I'm gonna use my Morphe M456 brush. It's a really small blending brush. It almost looks like the M433, how it's like crease worthy, but we're not gonna be in the crease. We're gonna be right on the under eye. And I'm gonna go into the shade D1. For some reason, this shade has just been calling my name since I opened the palette. Oh, that is so pretty. I really love that shade on the lower lash line. I think that's good. I really like that, like a lot. Now I need to go back in one more time and add this pencil back to my waterline because I feel like there's nothing left and I need a finished look, you know? It is just so hard to build up that pencil in my waterline with that Tarte liner. It just seems like it's not rich enough. Okay, liner is fixed on both eyes now. They both look reasonable at least. So now I'm gonna go in with my NYX On The Rise mascara and finish off my lower lash line and then we'll be done with this look. So I'm gonna give you my final thoughts on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Volume 3 palette. All makeup is now 110% completely done. This is the entire eye look with this palette. Eyeliner differences aside, what do you think? I think it's pretty. You know, I really like this type glam. I really like the whole fall autumn vibe. I missed this. I did. We've been doing spring and summer looks for a very long time here on my channel, and I do miss just these, you know, brown looks. Some cranberry, some neutralness. So when it comes to the third sister, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 3. Just like the other two sisters, I'm gonna have to give it a recommend. Despite the varying differences between the color stories of each of these palettes, they do each have their very own story to tell, and all three have the same impeccable, amazing ABH quality. They go unpigmented, they blend amazingly, the shimmers don't need anything to pack a punch and to be as foiled and metallic as you want them to. I had no problems out of really any of the palettes that I used. And I honestly think that if you're interested in any of these palettes, they're all going to be a great buy. It's just going to depend on what color story you like and what color story you prefer. I do think that this one out of the three is the most wearable, or neutral if you will, because there are a lot more shades in this one that you can work into looks like this versus a blue or teal look, or a lime green look, or a blue and white look, or a purple look. Either way, you get the idea. With that being said, the differences in the Huda liner and the Tarte liner, with them being about the same price, I think in my opinion this is going to come down to your preference. But the Huda one, I think this is the one that I would reach for more often. I don't know if it's strictly because of the way it's shaped and it makes it cool for me, or if it's because I like that gel thick formula. I don't know, it's just the first liner that I've ever used like that, and I kind of like it. I'm willing to give it more chances, to give it more of a shot, if that makes sense. And with all of that being said, that concludes this video and this review. I hope you guys had the most amazing time hanging out with me. I know I did with you. You are a hoot, and you are heck of a lot of fun too. If you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. It does let me know that you did enjoy the video, but it also lets others know that you enjoyed my video, and it helps YouTube say, hey, check this guy out. Every little thing helps. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, every share, all of it helps just a little bit. Even if you watch, that helps too. That's fine. Anyway guys, if you want to see this look and more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.